Oops.
Trouble when you're trying to show stuff and the video at the same time online.
Yeah, I look like I'm gonna know what I'm doing halfway.
That's good to me.
Just hope they can hear us and we can hear. I don't care if we hear them.
What are you all using for your sign up to get a login? I'm Craig Rich. I'm first president of the Football Association, but I live here in Houston.
Yeah. I live in Baytown.
Okay.
Or past Baytown.
Well, that's kind of like a Harris County too.
Yeah.
But it's,
Yeah, I was in Deer Park, ain't it?
it's in Pasadena.
Pasadena.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. It's the other side of the earth from
Yeah.
where I live, which is not too far from here. But what do y'all use when you have people go to the website? And,
Oh, they just send them a link before they get in.
I know, but what are they using to do that, to generate that link? Or to,
Oh, Zoom.
Request is. It's in Zoom?
Yeah, Kyle's the one that does. He's not here today. He's normally always here, but
Okay.
that's why we're doing this.
Colin is the key man?
Kyle, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's our HBA secretary. But he gets the meeting invite in Zoom, and then we hold that link until right before the meeting, send it out.
Yeah.
Or no, they send it out.
No, you send it out as soon as he approves a week before.
Oh, that's right. He just goes through he has the member list, I think, and he just approves them to come into the meetings.
Well, it's not based on member.
That's right. It is ours is now for the Zoom.
You changed it?
Yeah, the in-person meetings are open to the public, but the Zoom meetings are only open to members now.
You can't get in by Zoom? Okay, you're trying to cut down on people that are members. Okay, because I've been on a couple of your deals in a long time.
Yeah, we had it open, wide open during COVID because we didn't have in-person meetings at all anyway. So, and then I think we still end up letting a lot of people in anyway.
He's actually, yeah.
We'll try to encourage them.
How do you, if you have somebody who's wanting to join yet.
Yeah, we just tell them come to in-person meetings.
You know,
Yeah,
I would give them, one or two check-ins by Zoom and then say no.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, we're still. We got like 15 minutes to start. It's not yeah, that's a small house. These are new boxes for this year, so they're 9 frame, 10 frame. So next year, after I have this growing honeycomb, then I'll switch to 9. And we'll draw it out for the Yeah. But for the first year, you always want to be 10 frame. Otherwise, you're walking home. Yeah, you end up with cross combing and all kinds of stuff.
I put one on, I did mine, so I had 10 for free, I'm like, okay.
The toes are good frames. All black, white. Y'all are able to get those out without a hot tool. And the glue down yet by the bees. Actually, I'll find it. Well, I just picked them up yesterday. They were. I just put honey super dog in the middle of March. Somewhere around there, I just changed it. Like this year, it's spring. So they sit there on top of the beehives doing nothing. But last year was early, so I put them on the March. And quite honestly, yeah, and it depends too. Like, there's a difference between this side of Houston and I live on the east side of Baytown. So the bloom over there is, you know, different. This side of Houston. Yeah, it's cold. Yeah, that snow on the prairie stuff up there. Talks about. These are actually lots of loops. Yeah, that's a good frame. That's what you like to see right there. Everything's capped.
Well,
It's heavy, it's all full.
yeah, I mean, there's.
This is a not so great frame, so it's not full.
Mine will start in the middle more.
This I was having a problem with this one. I think about 10 more minutes to start.
Well.
Where's the bee go? The bee is like, bee is right there. Has one live bee and it's tiny.
Yeah, you don't want to be close. You don't want to get bit, that's for sure.
All right, Mike, how do you use your technology and presenting? So, will you be part of your technology?
Sure. We'll do this.
What do? Hit the forward slide for you? Yeah, I can do that.
We still have a few minutes before it starts.
Presentation. Slides
Okay.
and actually then the hands-on stuff.
I'll just figure out how to point this so we can see it.
It should be good right where it's at. It's real wide.
Oh, really? You'll see
Yeah.
all this stuff? Okay.
Yeah, so it had all the way, it hasn't had the extractor in there and everything.
All right. Well, if you got something small, you just kind of guess you just kind of walk over here and hold it from the. Then,
Oh, yeah. So it's a little better picture of that, yeah. I'm terrible with public speaking, so this will be fun.
you're what now?
I said I'm terrible with public speaking, so this will be fun.
Okay, we have both of us up here. Perfect. We balance each other out. When are you-
Thirsty. So I put like a dog dish nearby with a stick in it so they can stand on a
Some more
little
water?
stick and drink. Our 3-acre pond is down to a puddle.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Guess I should go look
How
at that
big was the
one.
pond? What's normal deep depth?
Well, so I don't know. At the deepest part, it's probably 6-7 feet.
Yeah.
And
All
now
evaporated?
now we've got these carp that have all just died this week, like big old carp this big that have just gone belly up, and it's swarm of swarm, but a group of vultures that
They're just
are
down
now
there.
very happy. Yeah. It's just it's dry. I don't think I've ever seen that dry.
Yeah. What about?
No, I'm not feeding them sugar water and all baddies because I feel like this, I mean, there's some water out there.
So
Yes, I'm giving them sugar water, so that's the only reason that they're building out any. I'm holding them around. They're gathering on the front of the hive to
try to keep it
pull
all.
off.
That's what you can see. It's nice out here. When Jason's there, no, I gotta check him. I was in the last 3 weeks. And I realized they've been on their own. Sure they're fine. Should be-
They're self-sufficient.
Yeah. I
But
think my
I'm-
probably swing to more.
I'm trying to keep them relatively happy because I'm taking one frame a week to the exhibit.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I put one frame in the demonstration hive, and so I put a different frame in every week and take it to the
Yeah.
exhibit. Which is an adventure in itself.
Yeah.
Just put some frames in there with eggs in them, just go ahead and start raising queens while you're there.
I should, I went to that queen raising thing and it looked really interesting.
I've had them in the observation hive for 24 hours and they've started queen cells. Yeah, go back, put them back in the frame in the hive the next day and there's like 6 queen cells.
Really?
I quit taking, I didn't want those, so I quit taking frames that had brood on them, or that had an open brood.
Yeah.
If I get one that's just got closed brood in front of it.
No, I was just taking frames from the super.
Yeah.
Demonstration lab, but,
Yeah, I've done that too. For some reason, teachers always want me to come speak in like February. They get one frame out of the top, whatever's on it, that's what they get.
Yeah.
Probably the last step. Shirts are available by the-
Oh,
I didn't, he didn't, his reminder, it wasn't in your reminder.
I bought one on there and then like a couple emails, a couple days later, I got another email saying that the campaign ended and they didn't give me a shirt.
I didn't have anything. That's the open-ended.
That's the email I got from Bonfire.
All right, I'll send it again. I'll start it over again like back to the house.
Yeah, I wanted one, so. on the 17th, I didn't go through.
I thought I had it, I thought I left it open. I'll check the.
Okay.
Which one? Fort Bend?
Yeah.
I'm president.
We know him.
I'll talk with you after. So I've got a neighbor who, there's some leaves where they shouldn't be and needs some help with removal.
Okay, I got the name of the person that contacted that area.
Okay, how do we get this? Well, how do we start this?
It's already
listening to us?
yeah, because it keeps saying we're talking.
Oh, okay. Is it recording?
Yeah, he said it's, yeah, it's, as soon as I log on, it's started recording.
Oh, okay, so recording. on this.
He's got like 15 minutes of stuff to edit out.
He gets to edit, yeah, we'll edit it. All right. If I'm standing here, you can see me. Okay.
Mine was standing behind the table.
Behind the table. Okay, I can do that.
Finally left. Finally
Let's see if I can get the.
Well, maybe I have to put it back on camera. Because right now it's on the share screen, right?
It says sharing video, integrated webcam. I got the thing. Let me see if it shows it. Yeah, there's the.
Okay, yeah, I can see. I'll wait till it's actually. Came free.
It was in there.
It was in there. She's now flying around. Whoever, anybody gets stung by the bee, maybe gets first choice on that. It'll probably be in 24 hours.
Remember which one that I handled, but I used those little yellow plastic things full of holes.
I only got those at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was. Actually, I went to one of my other ERs.
I'll go up there and wall of, a little ball of, I know that the friend of his just architects and just came over. So that they were like, sorry, just a ball. And then you always making it. So I gotta have four there, so every time we get more. I'm gonna make sense.
Yeah.
Very careful.
Wow, I got another ER Devers next to Little Bit. That's a little my piece. I can't believe it. Yeah. It's 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes away from us.
Very aggressive. That was the other. The other one.
Okay, everybody, get started. Hi, my name is Joe Powers. I'm club president. For all you guys on Zoom, I apologize. Our normal technician is on traveling for work. So you have Mike and I, the non-technical guys doing the technical stuff. Not good, but oh well. Hopefully you can hear what we're doing and see what the demonstration stuff. Welcome to the Houston Beekeepers Association. Been a club since 1959. These shirts theoretically are available on Bonfire. You can order one, and then we get to about 18 or 20 ordered, then they ship them out, some number like that. I'll make sure Kyle resends that link, so if everybody wants a t-shirt, you can get one. Okay, upcoming things that are going on. Mentoring. Our lead mentor is Wendy Hager.
please be patient with me because I'm trying to hook everybody up, but I'm not real fast at it because I got to find people that are geographically compatible and otherwise compatible, but don't give up on me.
But we've got like a couple people still need a mentor, right?
Yes.
So we could use more people. If any of you guys want to be a mentee or mentor, then sign up with Wendy. It's on our website. It's easy to do. And you just fill a little form, and you really just need, if you've got 1 year experience keeping bees, you can help somebody else do it because if you know lots more than somebody who's never done it. So, upcoming events. Let's see, Wednesday, May 18th through August 26th is Wendy's Architecture of Bees at the Houston Architecture Center. So that you can go look at that anytime, but on Tuesday, the 19th of July, we're going to have our beekeeper meeting at the Architecture Center. More of a happy hour kind of beekeeper meeting, and we can all see Wendy's exhibit then. So, go early or go on the 19th, but you still get to see the people. Thursday.
Parking is on the street. There's lots of parking on the street.
Street parking?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll send it up. We sent the official thing. We'll send it out to the park. Okay. On Thursday, the 23rd is the Buzz About Bees Lunch and Learn. All this stuff is in your schedule. Friday, the 24th is Pollinator Walks with Buffalo Bayou Partnership. June 25th, that's this coming Saturday, is the Texas Beekeeper Association Summer Clinic. That's actually really good. It's all day. I think it's like 8 hours. You can take like 8 hours of continuing ed classes. It's really very informative. Tuesday, the 28th is the Harris County Beekeeper Association. Saturday, July 16th is another pollinator walk with Buffalo Bayou. And then, of course, Tuesday, the 19th of July is going to be the Houston Beekeeper meeting. And that'll be at the Architecture Center. So, going to turn over to our Vice President, Mike Simmons, and he's going to talk about how to extract honey. He's brought 2 full supers of honey, so it's going to be a real actual demonstration how to do this. So,
Yeah, we get to the end. If anybody wants to try it, they're more than welcome to. All this equipment, if you're part of the HBA, if you're a member, you can get all this equipment from us. We keep it in the storage unit about a mile from here. It's free if you're a member. So it'll come with the uncapping tank and the extractor. We have two radial extractors that are that'll take mediums, and we have one tangential extractor that will do deeps.
Oh, okay, click the slide.
Yeah, you gotta use my button pusher.
Yeah.
Right arrow.
I do it.
No, it don't work. Oh, probably.
That's not the right arrow.
You're probably just off this thing's probably off the presentation.
Oh, that arrow.
There we go.
I got you. Okay.
So when you're extracting honey, I mean, the first thing is always safety, right? Safety first, last and always. If you really want to get into food handling, there is a food handler safety course you can do online. Just take anyone that's accredited. And then you got backup program. If you ever lose your job, you can be a food server, work in a kitchen. So these are just the real high points. So you shouldn't cough or sneeze in your hands, smoke cigarettes, scratch your head, touch your face. You want to have clean hands, wash your hands. You shouldn't process honey if you're sick. Wait till you feel better. Just leave them on the hives, it'll be okay. You should be clean, so you should take a shower. Have trimmed nails, clean nails. Not wear jewelry. The main thing, you don't want to wear jewelry like this thing when it's spinning. If you get a ring stuck in there, it'll peel your skin off your finger. So that's a safety thing. You should wear non-skid shoes. So like these are not what you really want to be wearing. Hand washing, that's the most important thing. Keep your hands clean or use a lot of us extracting like garages and shops and in our kitchens and stuff. Just get some vinyl gloves or some latex gloves. That works really well too. And then you can use hand sanitizer for last resort. Next slide. Hair should be restrained. Either wear a hairnet or a cap. Like I don't have any hair, so I don't have that problem with my hair falling out. I like to wear a cap also because it keeps me from sweating if I'm sweating. If you do a lot of hives, it's a lot of work. So when you start sweating, you don't want that getting into your honey. You shouldn't smoke, chew gum, cough, sneeze. The area where you're doing should be clean. So, you know, if you're doing it in a shop or garage, make sure you don't have like dust floating around. It should just be a clean area.
You can lay out a tarp
Yeah, tarp works good.
on the floor.
Yeah, I was gonna go over that. Everything should be clean and sanitized. It's gonna touch honey. So if you're gonna use a hive tool to get the frames out, it should be a clean hive tool. Mine's not, I'm sorry, but you really want everything to be clean. This comes straight out of the food sanitation stuff. The best way to do it is clean it with a mild detergent. When hot water, rinse it, sanitize it with a, you know, it has this big fancy ratio, 185 parts per million, 10% bleach, regular plain bleach. And then after that, it has to air dry though. So if it still smells like bleach, it's not ready to be used yet. Next slide. So these are all the tools you need. So an extractor, your radial, tangential. These are great. This is a 6 frame radial.
Even though it's labeled 6 frame tangential,
Yeah, it's actually a radial.
it's a radial.
So a radial is going to extract. With a radial, you don't have to flip the frames. With a tangential, when you put it in there, you have to extract for a little bit and then flip it, and extract. And then if you have tangentials are really rough on frames without foundation. So if you're foundationless, a lot of times you end up losing your honeycomb in those. So you need something on cap to get all the wax cappings off. There's a bunch of tools. This is the hot knife. So this thing, I hate this thing. I never use these. They get hot, they will burn you. They melt the wax off, so I don't want melted wax in my honey, but they do work good though. They will take off the wax. A big thing with those too is that you need real wide frames. So if you have well, I got some frames in here that aren't they're not very wide. So the bees ran out of honey or nectar to collect. So then they capped them off in their thing. It's really hard to get at those with those. Another thing that works good is a bread knife. This is a offset handle scalloped bread knife. I've tried like 10 different bread knives and this works really well. And the cheaper it is, the thinner it is, it seems to work better. And then when you pick up the tools from the association locker, it comes with one of these. I love this thing. It works really well on honeycomb. It works really well on honeycomb that's not completely flat either. So a lot of times, especially your first year or so extracting or getting honey before you're reusing the same honeycomb. The only thing with these is you got to be careful because if this thing gets clogged up with wax, it'll start ripping the honeycomb out of the frame. So if it starts getting clogged up, you have to clean it out. This is the one that came with the HPA stuff. This is the one I use at home. And then this works really well too. So scratcher. So if you have divots and stuff in your honeycomb, it's not completely flat at the top. This works good getting corners and stuff.
Yeah, I've got a roller with little points on it. Just roll
I've
over.
never tried a roller.
They work pretty good.
Do they?
Good.
It's easy.
Yeah, there's a roller, and then there's another one that have this thing. It's kind of like a roller, but it comes in a frame you can buy, and you just.
Oh yeah.
It looks like one of them old washing machines that wrings it out. And then if you get really fancy, you can start getting in steam extractors. They actually make some steam extractors that are below $1,000, or steam uncaptains, I should say. They use hot knives that are powered by steam. They come with a steam generator and all that. I mean, a lot of times a year I'll do 20 medium supers full, and it's not that much work to do with a hand. If I had a couple hundred hives, I would look at a chain extractor or whatever. The other thing is wax stranding. So on this thing, on this uncapping tank, it has, you can see it's two separate things. It has a grid at the bottom, so it'll catch the wax and all the honey that's still in the cappings will drain to the bottom. I don't really like these because the space is kind of big. Actually, at home, what I usually use is a strainer bag. I use one of these on a 5-gallon bucket, and I'll just put my cappings into that, and it hangs from the top. And I'll use these little binder clips to clip it up to the top of the bucket, make sure it doesn't fall in with it. And then I'll let it sit overnight, and it's pretty dry when I get it out. They make wax spinners. They get pretty pricey. They cost more than extractors sometimes. If you have a lot of hives, you can get, over 10, 20 pounds out of your cappings, but it hasn't been worth it to me to invest in that. You need something to store your honey in. Buckets, tanks, totes, bottom buckets. A bottom bucket is a great investment, especially with the valves on them. That was one of the best things I ever bought. If you're doing a lot of bottles, if you're doing more than 30 or 40 bottles, that makes a big difference. Buckets, you can get them all kinds of places. You can see that one's got a More Beer logo on it. That's a beer brewing store. They sell food grade buckets. Lowe's sells food grade buckets. They have a sticker on them. Don't get the blue ones. Those aren't food grade, but if you go into their paint section, they have some that say food grade on them.
Ace Restaurant Supply too, you can there.
Yeah, you get them all restaurant supplies.
And they have a screw on lid.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice for a
Yeah.
5-gallon bucket.
The screw on lids, though, I always find when you start pouring, you have to pour something out of it.
They can get
It
kind of
gets
sticky.
Underneath, and then you can't get it clean.
Yeah, I've tried a bunch of different lids, and these lids work really well. I get these at Lowe's too. They have some other ones that are a little thinner that they always break. But these right here are good. Like if it's hard to get the lid off, then that's probably a good lid. If it's easy to get off, it's probably not getting a very good seal. And then, so this is not an ideal setup. I would never set my stuff up if I was doing this in my garage, in my shop. So you want to always try to set up, put your supers, uncap and tank, and then the extractor right next to it. That way you go to it, you're not dripping honey everywhere. And if you're doing a bunch of them, when you stand there for 2 hours doing it, it'll all that twisting back and forth and walking around will start hurting your feet and back. So just set it up in the natural order. If you're going to do a lot and stand there for 8 hours, I have a fatigue mat that I got at a restaurant supply store. It's got holes in it so you can wash it off outside. That thing made a huge difference buying that. You can cover the floor, like he said, with a tarp. Works great. Newspapers work great if anybody still actually gets newspapers anymore. If not, Lowe's and Home Depot, they sell some, it's like brown painter's paper for masking stuff off. It works good too. And just avoid making any tripping hazards and tape it down with blue painter's tape or something. Having really good lighting helps a lot. You'd be surprised if you're in a dim lit garage how many caps you'll miss that you don't extract. The warmer honey is, the easier it is to extract. So, but working in AC is nice too. So you gotta balance it out. I like to keep my honey supers outside my shop, and then I'll bring them in one at a time. That way the honey's still warm, but I'm still working my air conditioning. You'll get all kinds of bugs coming to when you start extracting honey, because all that smell gets in there. You get all kinds of bugs you've never seen before get attracted to that stuff. And a lot of wasps will come. If there's any yellow jackets by you, you're going to have to stop. So, extracting inside is great if you can have a closed structure, if you do it in your kitchen or whatever. If you have to do it outside, you might want to consider getting some bug netting or something.
Yeah, I do mine at night after sunset. Wait, so it's dark.
Yeah,
Now,
you still get other
I don't-
kinds.
I don't have so many bugs that way.
Yeah, you'll have less stinging types of bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, mosquitoes.
Yeah, you mosquitoes. So first thing you have to do is harvest it off the frame. I'm not going to get too detailed about it, but there's a bunch of ways to get the bees out of your supers. You can smoke them out, use a quarter bee escape that goes on the inner cover. Just let them sit overnight, and the next morning they'll all be gone. Can't get back in. You can use a fume board. I've never had any luck with fume boards with the spray it on there, and it smells. It's a bee repellent. And they make two different kinds. They make like the Fisher's Bee Quick, which smells good. It smells like almonds, but doesn't work that great. And then the other one smells like vomit, like literally vomit. Butyric acid, it's terrible stuff. So I never use that. You can use a leaf blower or air compressor to blow them out. That's what I use. So what I'll do is I'll smoke them down, try to get as many out of there as I can the nice way. And I'll flip the honey super up on its side and take my leaf blower. I got a battery powered leaf blower. I eject them out of there. 80 miles. I try to start far away and then get closer. I don't want to kill them, But I haven't ever seen a bunch of dead bees. It's probably a little rough on them. Or you can just take them out. If you don't have a lot to do, you can take each frame out, just brush them off with a bee brush. After you pull them off the hives, you need to extract them within 48 hours. So we did, we already saw a small hive beetle in these supers I got here. So once you extract them off, there's no bees to defend them. So you need to get them extracted before small hive beetle or wax moth gets in there. You don't want that. And then if you can't extract them, you need to freeze them. That's the only way. If not, just put them back on the hives. And then the other consideration is how much you're going to leave them. So they need it, around here we have a dearth. We're getting into our dearth now, the summer dearth, so we'll be dearth until goldenrod blooms in late fall, like September, October. So think about that. And the goldenrod harvest around here is not guaranteed. We've got a lot of years we haven't got anything. If you're going to harvest real heavy and not leave them a lot, consider feeding them. And your combs should be at least 75% capped. So on an average, all those combs should be at least 75% capped. If they're not, you run the risk of having too much moisture in there. And then when you extract it, it'll ferment. And then you only have two choices. You either throw it away or make meat that day. If a couple of honey supers makes a lot of meat. I already talked about food grade. Oh yeah, firehouse sub buckets. Everybody sees they give them away. Don't use them. You'll never get that pickle smell out. You don't want your honey tasting like pickles. Bakeries are a good place. They always have food grade buckets and they just have icing in them. So if you're looking for free stuff, you can buy buckets with these suppliers and other stuff. So the bottling bucket, that's great.
What do you mean by bottling?
It's just, you can get a bottling valve. So Maxit makes the best valve out there. Like that it's expensive.
It's a
Okay,
bucket.
you're talking the stainless steel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's a bucket with just one of these in the end.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be your basic bottling bucket.
That's a
honey,
basic one.
honey gate valve.
I understand a honey gate on them.
Yeah,
the honey gate,
All
yeah.
that you're saying it is. It sounds more exotic.
Well, it is. The Maxon is. So the Maxon is a plunger valve,
Yeah.
and it's
It's
got a stainless steel rod. The whole valve stainless. It works fantastic. Like as soon as you let off, it stops, so it doesn't drip. But, it's pricey. So if you do have a bottling bucket, you're going to store it in there, and you're not going to bottle all of it at once. Personally, I don't like bottling all my honey at once because it crystallizes in the bottle. It's harder for me to decrystallize bottles. It's easier for me to decrystallize the whole bucket. So I bought a silicone mat. It's a heating mat. I got it off of eBay, but they sell them on Amazon and stuff, and it wraps around the bucket. And it's like 500 watts. So it gets pretty hot, but it has a thermostat on it, so I can set it to keep it. I try not to let mine get above 95 degrees. That's what the bees keep it at, so I'm not heating my honey. 120 degrees is usually like the real Texas honey. 120 degrees and below is still considered not heated. It's raw. And then bottles. So you can get bottles from all the bee suppliers. They're all pricey. If you start looking at plastic suppliers, you usually have to buy more bottles, but you get a significant discount. I pay like 9 cents a bottle for my plastic bottles. I get from Sailor Plastics. There's a few different places out there, and there are some glass suppliers in Houston that supply glass jars for all different industries. You can check with them and see if you can get glass jars at a discount. My customers love those little youth jars, so I got to make those. I guess the better beat. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
I'll tell you what a lot of slides.
All right.
So
I want to move stuff so you're actually closer to what you're doing. We can turn this TV.
Huh?
We can turn this so it's.
I think it's look at the video.
Yeah.
You see
Okay.
it pretty good.
All right.
I hate wearing this thing. I don't want my beard in there, so. Awesome.
That's good. That's a good look for it.
The first thing, one thing I don't have here that I wish I had was an empty box. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take a cookie sheet. I got some half sheet cookie trays. They're real big. They're about as big as this lid. And I'll put a whole empty box on there, empty super. And that way after I uncap one frame, I can set it in there. And then when I get a whole set, or how many of that whole 6, once I get 6 frames, I'll take them over there and slap them in there. Try not to drip honey everywhere. That just makes cleaning up a mess. Oh, and there's another thing that's nice to have. You get these on Amazon for like $2. Makes cleanup a lot easier. You just throw it in the wash machine when you're done. If you do a lot of them, you're gonna get honey everywhere. And then hand sanitizer, and then it's all, a lot of people don't have access to sinks and stuff. So like baby wipes or these are sanitizing wipes, but these are nice to have to clean up after yourself while you're working. And you're gonna need a high tool a lot of times. These are this year's frames, so they're pretty easy to get out. But once you've used them a couple of years for honey, they're gonna be hard to get out because they're not all that propolis. So this is actually not a great frame. You see, it's only got like 10% cap. It's actually pretty thick though. So on a frame like this, there's a little nail sticking up on this board. When you get it, this will actually be in the tank. And then there's these little tabs in here. You just stick these bolts in there. And then this little nail is so you can spin it around while you're scraping it, while you're uncapping it. So when it's only got a few things like that, I'm just going to get my honey scratcher and just scratch those.
If you use it like a fork and lift, you don't end up with all the crumbs.
Yeah, you can do it that way too.
Yeah, that way is the way to do it.
It's a little more intricate that way though. Yeah. I'm usually doing a whole lot of frames, so I'm concerned with speed. So I usually just scratch the top of them. And when I put them back in the autumn hives after I'm done, that's how so once you're done extracting all of them, in the next 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, you need to get them back on the hives. And whatever honey's left on here, they'll clean up. And then they'll clean up all the honey cells that you tear up. And it's pretty light touch. Like you don't want to get too much into it because then you start damaging the cells a lot, and then you just make more work for bees to rebuild that. And then one thing to keep in mind when you're loading the extractor is to keep kind of even frames. So like I have a lot of mix of wood frames and all plastic frames. So I'll try to, when I'm got a mixed load going into my extractor, I'll try to balance them out. So I'll put 2 plastic frames across from each other and then 2 wood frames. I use a 26 frame extractor at home. It's like about twice the size of that one. So when that thing gets unbalanced, it'll start walking off. Let me show you this other too. So this keeps you from going too deep in there. But it does take a little bit of getting used to the first couple of times. And it works like you're talking about with you just scratch the top of it. And it'll bust all the caps open. This is a good frame. This is what you want to see. See in this frame, you can see on this side that it's even with the top bar. On this side, it sticks out. So on this side, I might consider using a hot knife or a bread knife or something where I can just saw it off. And so I'll just cut the caps off. Which I really don't even like using this. This is my favorite tool. Once you do it a few times, you get the hang of it. It goes pretty quick.
What's the name of that tool specifically?
I have no idea. If you get on Amazon and put in an uncapper,
Uncap
picture of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they just call it an uncapper. It needs its own name though. It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it works both ways. So if you have frames or if you can get to it.
I saw one of those tools at Wabash a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it's more expensive there, but you're in a hurry.
Yeah. I always try to support local local bee stores. It's really nice to have those as a resource around when you need stuff quickly. They just built the Texas Bee Supply by my house. They opened up 99, so I get there pretty quick. So they've been in my new favorite store. They're taking all my money. Give it a try. Anybody?
Here we go, Jamestown.
Just hand sanitizer. Just hold the top of the frame first. And then,
And don't sneeze.
yeah, I was kind of trying to do it so I can show y'all, but yeah, if you just do it like that, it might be a little easier. You see, it's starting to get a little clogged up, so it starts kind of crushing the cells instead of pulling them off. Yeah, that's why you got, yeah.
Just slide it backwards across the bar there. and take it out.
Yeah, you do. That works.
Just like that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you go a little deep, you can crush something. You gotta get it out of the bottom of something.
Anyone here use a 9-frame super? Okay, I mean,
Yeah, made
it
that
makes
way big
this
difference.
so much easier.
Yeah, 9 frames
use your
is
knife.
great. The only thing with 9 frames that I'll say is I would not do it for an empty box that doesn't have drawn foundation on it.
No.
If you put 9 frames in there, a lot of times they'll end up with cross comb. And then you end up with a mess. But after like I'll extract this, so this is this year. This is a new box this year. So after this has been extracted, and I clean it up, I'm gonna save all this honey. And next year when I put it on there, I'll go to 9 frames. And they'll draw it out a lot further so it sticks out further from the frame. A lot of times, instead of using that tool, like you got some areas that you missed.
Yeah.
I'll set that tool down, I'll go back to the scratcher and just scratch those areas that I missed. And it works really well for like, you see how the cone's not built all the way out there and it kind of has an angle. So yeah, I'll put that thing at an angle. And scratch all those. I know people that use nothing but that.
Kind of dripping all over.
Yeah, the more you do it, the better you'll get at not dripping it everywhere. That's why using gloves is great. I was gonna bring a box, I just forgot to grab them. Yeah, all the caps have to be busted. Sorry up there a little bit. I don't know, it looks pretty good. Yeah, that's good. There's a, wiper thing. We gotta do at least 6 to get a load. Anybody else want to give it a try? I'm scared. I don't like one.
Go get sticky.
Just grab the top. Oh, here's loose.
Hand sanitizer.
I can't preach all about hygiene and yep, and then just drag it across. And if it's pretty light. This is all new comb. So this is all, so yeah, it's a little deep right there. So if you go, when you go deeper, you end up crushing a lot of it. A lot of it ends up in here. It's easier to get out of the extractor. Let me see that. This is starting to get clogged up with wax. It'll work better. You might try adjusting the angle of it and try to put it where your hand's a little further away from the frame and it won't go as deep. Or you could try some of these tools. So these are not the highest quality because they're all made in China. If you find an American one, let me know, I'll buy it. But I've had to bend this thing before. If it gets bending all the way, it'll always go right too deep. If you bend it out, it'll help keep it from going as deep. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. And this is also, if you have jacked up comb on your frames, this is the time to fix it. Yeah, get it all straight so that the next year they're straighter. If you have cross comb, just scrape it out. Yeah, if there's not, you can try that.
She's discovering that you need 4 hands to do this project.
I just practice makes perfect, so the more you do it, the better you get it. Yeah, like this stuff on the edge, a lot of times works better. It's not just scratch the top itself. Yeah, you can do it that way, or you can just scratch down. And I know people that like to use nothing but a scratching tool. They'll do all their hives that way. So I mean, it's kind of love. It's just preference. So, if you got a method that you don't like, it's not working for you, try something else. Anybody else want to try?
The other thing, Sean, have a bucket of water close by.
Yeah, sink or bucket of water is great. I usually just use wipes until I get done, and then I go wash my hands. I have a water hose outside my shop, but I don't have to sink in it. Oh, that's perfect.
I had a friend that had like thousands.
And then you can get into a little bit of the divots if you rotate that tool a little bit. And also another thing, when I put these back on the hive, I'll scrape all the tar comb off. Yeah, this stuff is not being used really. Normally you find like drone brood in there. Or a lot of times if the hive gets full, we'll put honey in those comb. We'll build comb in between the 2 frames. Even though you have proper bee space, they'll still build comb in there. It's still full honey. Pull your supers off, and there'll be honey everywhere. They clean it all up, though. They don't hurt.
They don't let it go.
Yeah.
That's when you use the twist to get it apart.
Yeah. Be careful with that twist. I've had a twist, and I got some old boxes that are about 10 years old, and the box come apart. Naturally, that makes better than I am. No, all that wax right there, this is all brand new wax from this year. That is the best wax I can get. So I'm going to use that for my high grade wax projects like It's mostly lip balm.
You put it outdoors so the bees can clean it up for you?
Yeah, I'll set it outside. Actually, I was straining in that bag for a while. So I'm gonna do a little different than actually using also the cap and tank. Sure. I normally don't use this. So I don't worry about that. There ain't nothing in there. That's just when I put it back in the hive after we get it all cleaned up, I'll just scrape it off with my hot tool. Wiping those bags. Oh, this is actually what I use for instead of running cap and tank. I use this as a bucket. I got this on it's made by Beesmart. It was like $20. It just goes on the top there. And you can put a frame in there and walk away from it. It'll hold it upright. It will work well.
And then you have your bag underneath that.
Yeah, and I'll have my bag underneath it so it catches all the wax. And when it gets full, I'll swap out those bags. These bags are like $10 for. They're actually those are brewing a bags. A lot of people use like 5-gallon paint strainers that you can get from Lowe's. Those aren't food grade to me. Those are food grade. They're nylon bags, so you can get them on Amazon. You get them at brew stores. They just call them brewing a bag bags, and you get them different sizes. That's the I can't remember what size. That's made for a 5-gallon bucket. It only goes about half the depth. If you have something bigger, they make bigger bags. You just look at the dimensions when you're looking at them. No, I'll strain mine for a long time. You can do it that way. So I'll just strain mine for a long time and there ain't nothing left. I melt them in wax. I melt them in a crock pot with water, and then you let it cool overnight. All the wax will float at the top and separate. And then any honey that was left will be mixed in with the water. Mostly.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I let my wax drain out the strainer or bucket. Then after it's drained for a day or so, I take that strainer and just set out in the yard in places. Take care of it, and the bees will come and dig through it, finish up all the ones. Well, they will, but they don't. Not really.
Yeah, they don't recycle wax.
They're really trying to get the honey out of it, so they'll come and kind of finish cleaning it up. That way, you milk it, you have to use less honey. That's
Like from a value perspective, wax is like 4 or 5 times the value of honey, pound for pound. You get a lot more honey, but I really don't want to give them any wax back. I want to keep it all for myself. So like that. And it depends on what your goals are for your beekeeping. You know, I do it as a sideliner, so I like my bees to pay for themselves. If it's a hobby for you and their pets, I can understand where you try to get as much back to them as you can. What else want to try?
yeah, sure is.
Yeah.
Gotta swoosh it. I don't think so. You won't hurt it. Only if you lay eggs in the larva hatch.
Anybody else? We all just stick together. Yeah. I find it up there is usually less honey. Hot beetles get slime your hive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because they defecate on it.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, they're nasty little bugs.
If they get out of control, it's disgusting.
Wax moths.
Yeah, the wax moths. Usually, if you get either one of those things, it's because the hive
I like that suggestion with tarp. I might try that instead of doing that with paper. The paper, all I can find is like 2 foot wide. The tarp would be easier.
Well, I used to work where they had a billboard that was on the property, and the guys would come to change it. I'd get their billboard, and that's a 25 by.
Yeah, there's a place online that sells those too.
Yeah,
I can't remember the
I
name
got
of
it free.
Yeah, that's the
But
best
you can
price.
cut it to fit whatever area you have.
Yeah.
And then take it out, wash it at the end of the deal, roll it up and pull it out next time and just go. Boom.
They're supposed to be real heavy duty too, aren't they?
They are very heavy. You aren't gonna trip and tear it.
Yeah, you can do it that way, or you can flip it, like you said, and get underneath the cappings and pull them off. Yeah. I usually just spray it. Yeah, that's worse, that's for me. But, you know, like everything in beekeeping, there's 1,000 different ways to do it, and everybody's way is the best. And the worst.
Your way is always the best.
Yeah, whatever works best for you is the best way. So, I mean, I've tried, you know, most of these tools are mine, so I've tried them all. And this worked really well, but it kept, unless you have real fat combs or and they're all flat, it has its drawbacks. The scraper just, it's kind of slow for me. This is the fastest way I found. That thing's pretty fast too, the hot knife. Once you burn yourself like 3 times with that thing, you'll be done with it.
The roller's pretty fast too, the little mini paint roller.
I'm gonna have to buy one of those now. That's the only thing I haven't tried. It's the other one's called a Harmony Uncapper. That's the name of it. It's 2 of those rollers and it's got tension. And you just
back up.
do that like 3 times. That's not bad. You got 2 deep right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, it takes practice.
I think it's gonna be a massive night.
So a lot of people, once we extract these, I'll show where we miss capping. The honey won't come out.
2, 4, 5. You can uncap one more.
One more, and I can show you all the extract. Anybody else? I got a whole nother honey super though. And if y'all come over to my house on July 4th weekend, I'll have about 10 more of these we can do. I'll give you all the practice you want.
Barbecue.
You know what? I'll give you free beer, man. If you come over and extract all my honey, definitely.
Can we paint the fence too?
Yeah. No, I don't think my HOA approve of that. Anybody else want to try? No? If y'all change y'all's minds, let me know. That's the only thing I like about this tool is it clogs up. It starts crushing. And this, I will tell you, this tool does not work that great on, if you have old frames that you've had honey in 4 or 5 times, they're starting to get dark and the wax is starting to get tough. This doesn't work that great.
So is that a little bit of brood?
I guess it probably had pollen in it at one time.
Right.
Because these were, I use queen excluders. I have too many hives to try to keep them separate. And a lot of people think they're honey excluders, but I've had good luck with queen excluders. I always use them. A lot of times what I'll do with my wax or my cleaned up supers is I don't like saving. I don't have a lot of room to save honeycomb. So a lot of times I just do splits with them.
Say again?
I use the empty honeycomb after they've been cleaned up and everything. I'll use them for splits. I'll put a couple empty already drawn out frames in there.
You mix in medium frames and deep frames too?
No, I just do medium splits. I kept mediums for, I just started keeping deeps a couple years ago. I kept everything mediums for 8, 9 years.
We're using 3s for your, we bought 3 of them.
Yeah, 3 mediums equals 2 deeps, roughly. The only reason I started keeping deeps is because I want to start selling these eventually. A lot of people don't want to buy medium nooks or medium hives, so customer happy.
I'm gonna carry the box over. Carry this over.
This is why you want to keep a good, good layout. Just set on top of it. Try to keep the drips and drops to a minimum. Especially here when
We're not gonna drip anything on the floor.
the Bailey community center might not appreciate having. When you load these into a radio extractor, you want, the honeycomb cells are angled up slightly. That's the way the bees naturally build them. So you want the top bar facing the outside. So the honey comes out easy.
There's a little channel at the bottom down here. You set in that channel and the lip, this is the lip, just goes over the edge of that channel. And that holds it in.
Yeah, if y'all want to come up and look in here,
Yeah.
feel free to. Yeah.
This is on the cat.
Yeah. The,
And then you get the two, these two.
Yeah, it's like yes. Say.
With the light.
What you want to do, why, whether you just like a extra top bar. That's the question. So it's not
Don't lick your fingers while you're working. You know, the temptation is there.
What?
Top bar frames.
Who's
So
working?
I'm
Who's
trying to
working?
find- I think I found somebody else who does top bar. Yeah.
So I mean, so you get, like if I had 6 full frames in there, that could be, 20 something pounds of honey. So once I start rotating this thing, you gotta be careful. If you stick your hand in there, it's gonna hurt. You'll break your finger. Yeah, so like on the electric extractors, you start getting the bigger ones. They actually have a brake on them. Like mine, if I lift it, it comes to screeching halt. It sounds terrible. And the extractors we have, these are really pretty good extractors. We have for the Beekeeper Association. They have like a one-way thing on here. Like the cheap ones, when you start cranking them, you let go, that thing keeps on spinning. It's a hazard. So this is a honey strainer. I think these are 600 micron for the small one. So they'll still let pollen and everything else through. It just gets out heat parts and stuff like that. If you're doing a lot of frames, mine, a lot of what times I'll do is I'll use this. I'll use all 3 of these. And then while that one's going, I can, instead of having to stop, I can, if mine's electric, I grab this real quick and dump the wax out.
Oh, yeah. They do get plugged up.
Yeah, yeah, and it's eventually, especially when you start getting the bigger extractors, they'll extract faster than they go through there. And then you end up having to close the honey gate real quick so it doesn't. And then you never want to have your extractor going through honey. So most of the time I just want the gate open. So this works better with a 5-gallon bucket than a 6-gallon bucket.
That or you need some more 2x4s.
Yeah, or you could probably stick 2x4 in there. So I like to start out kind of slow. And then y'all come up, just don't stick your hand in there. If you start out kind of slow, it kind of balances it out. You know, see slinging all the honey on the sides, then it'll run down. Yeah. So this is a great exercise if you have points to do. I say once you get to like 4 or 5 hives, though, it's good to look at it electric extractor. Yeah, see, this one's nice. Stop spinning it. It's got one-way bearing. It works really well. A little bit. That's one thing nice, really nice about the electric. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, if it's 95 degrees comes out a lot quicker. And then, like mine has a DFD on it, so I can start off with like, it has numbers up like 26. I can start spinning it and we'll walk away to this one else. And come back to it, and not having to sit here. Yeah, if you have young kids, don't buy electric tracks. I did blood today. He said no struggle. It's just hard to pass. No radio, there's no need. On a tangential one, like the track we have the beach. Yeah, that's a lie. I don't know whoever made that sticker was wrong.
So Jack's.
Why you was wondering? See, you should be recorded.
Anybody want to try it out? Give it a whirl. It's starting to get balance now. More balance. Yeah, so when you first start extracting, it's least on balance. So cranks start way closer together. Then we start doing forward.
Yeah, I can't tell if anybody's got questions or anything. There's one chat question. Or like, I can't hear you. Double tap on the speaker.
I'm full. I've had a electric extractor for so long. We're how hard this was. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we got a lot out of it. So you can see on some of these cells where we have to get trouble. That's why it's always good to get all that.
It's kind of, it's all kind of been a quick.
That's what I
morning, actually.
I've never heard anyone say anything good about that.
What do you do about those? I said, well, the big thing is.
When I get it, I'm supposed to be walking away and let it do 5 minutes and we'll come back and it's over. Yeah, so this year we haven't had any rain. Last year we had a lot of really wet honey in there. Everything rode in there. Honey was extracted. We ain't got no rain this year, so the honey might be drier. You can actually buy them. There's a it looks like a little thing, you hold up your eyes. It has a little prism on it. It'll tell you your moisture content. If you get it right. Yeah, well, no, first, sure. Refractometer. Yeah. Well, if you get the cheap one, well, I have a cheap one off of Amazon. Calibrated with all of them. I calibrated mine and it still reached 3.5. That's pretty, so it's gotta be easy. But I don't. And that's as far as calibration goes for my cheap phone. Amazon.
I think that, yeah.
So I think it's supposed to be under 19%.
That's what we're going.
Yeah.
The worst one is stupid cable box right on the ground. For some reason, just a little square hole about that tall and about that wide on the side. It's like it's designed.
But actually speed it up. Keep the honey up on it, put it in there, wash the room. Yeah, it's actually. Yeah, I take a cheesecloth, cover mine up. That way it keeps all the, anything, big products in there. If you extract honey and you keep it in like a building or whatever, outside your house. This is to have that little odor control newsletter. Honey attracts everything. Yeah, there's not an animal on the planet like honey.
Over my god day, over his. It's stupid. For what? We're sitting there, we've got all that. Okay, we still got 2,500 go. We don't. He's a free drive now.
Yeah.
He's spent 1,000. Oh, that was pretty good. You still have some money in there. How much? $600 yet. What cheap? And we could leave it over there.
I'll like, what I'll do tomorrow is I'll drop this off in my yard. And then out there, yeah, make sure your yard's not where people can see that they still put it in it.
Well, it's next door. It's right over Shields.
So I'll just leave it in the yard, go out, come back the next day, pick it up, take it home next to clean, take it south. Yeah, probably gonna put some oil, I got some food grade oil.
Go to the south, down there, and I think it's the first one. The first one.
Maybe
Maybe Band Road.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. I quite clean it with a place like this. OxyClean free. They make it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can cut through somewhere.
OxyClean. That's what they use to clean the places.
But yeah, if you're on your own office on them.
I'm on 762. I'm on 762.
Okay, but that's what it's on the. That was everyone.
So when you have the bookish flat, the whole surface area, we'll filter it out to the glass.
They've got a horse.
She's still like one of the three sisters.
No, that's. She sells her honey, but mostly she used to sell it in some farmers markets. But now she sells to ranges, several duck ranges. HEB that are in that area. So she's job.
Oh, but you know anything about this? Here's this flat bottom.
Yeah.
We get a higher price one, plus commercial.
We got a barn.
You've had rain.
Yeah.
Well, it's all.
Yeah, mine has a comb in the middle of this, all the way right side.
They've got a hot room. Well, she, Brent sent something out the other day. Had a whole-
This is a good extractor.
Yeah.
So
Just change 5 down.
I had a $100 Amazon extractor when I first
Right
started.
now, I had so many more last year.
It's actually still in use, like it's crazy.
And I've just
So
sold
look what you said there. They still use
So I
it.
have
That thing is
boxes that I'm still not.
paper thin stainless steel.
Super and
Not real well
most of
though.
my deeps
It
are
did work though.
finally getting
I
back.
think
to
Man Lake makes a plastic one. I heard it
Neat stuff.
was around $100. I heard good about that.
My damn honeymoon was fun.
I never used it myself. So it sucks. It's not my fault. So these are
One of them, I had 3 bottom on.
the majority is going to be tallow. You can't. I don't think you can have hot anywhere. You just
Cold air going up there.
a lot of tallow.
It's chilled up. So,
Yeah, some people want to
I just have to.
you have Brazilian pepper honey. You get that for Florida. That's their basic species that makes
well,
nectar.
they usually. They're, if they came from Western Europe, they could just kind of snow.
They actually want to.
And they have.
They try to kill the tallow trees every year.
Yeah, yes, they're doing
There's some,
they do. They
Like
actually
flight or
take
something,
care
or
of
release the
it.
environment that kill tallow trees. But every year they talk about it, all the beekeepers come out of woodwork. Crazy. Oh, yeah.
That's not taking off. I didn't.
But most of the use does not have.
Yeah. That's
But some of my savings.
We went over there to lose them and then most of them were another deep. Some of them they had 2. They're starting to stop. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I have one that has 5.
Yeah.
Full. Pick that up. Granted, a few of them, some honey that they frozen on some rain. Yeah.
That's like.
One of those.
Yeah.
From 6 frames.
As you can see,
But like you said, if you wanted to. Wax projects.
Yeah, that's why I use that little. This
Yeah.
little wide. You can sell it, just like, you just have to share it about like one, can't really let one filter run. Can't filter it anymore.
there's a smaller, there's smaller strains. This is strain, this is a rough strain.
But I don't know.
If you go any finer than that one,
It's kind of like that.
they're gonna consider.
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen that honey solutions place over there in Baytown. They got trouble a while back on Chinese honey. Chinese honey. Oh, yeah, they got.
They sold it as local.
So that place right there, when they get honey, they get in 5-gallon drums. And they heat that honey up to like 140 degrees. Yeah, they don't want it, they want it pasteurized, they don't want it, they don't want any bacteria or anything in it. And they pump it through a filter, they use a honey pump. They hold it with a honey pump, and they pump it with like paper filters, and it gets everything out, it's just basically sugar water. No pollen or nothing.
Yeah, basically, this was, you just leave this out. And then we'll pick up the wax. Yeah. The thing you do is you basically just give this cost.
Oh, I bought it in from somebody. And it was pretty cool, actually. I was.
The mower wax, put it in the water.
Yeah. This one
Water
was.
and mower.
Because you're going, if they were going in between that wall. and the wall, which was really. Or it was in this center of our wall. So, took a picture.
Yeah, this is, he's in Bowers. Check out.
Somehow the cinder blocks are stacked. Oh, yeah. Just with that. Yeah, just, yeah.
So really.
When I was going through that box of frames, I'm like, oh, there it is. It's just a- Yeah. Yeah, well, usually if it's that is wax like that, you don't have to pull it, get most of the wax. Cool overnight. We'll still be- Yeah, and I like a lot of it.
So look at here. You look at this, you get an idea how much wax you get by those
Yeah.
6 frames that create that much wax.
Yeah.
A gallon at a time.
Yeah.
No, no, it's funny. Even though that's very.
Yes, sir. We're new beekeepers here. Best way to extract my hand. Okay.
Yeah.
No, the frames were not all full. Some of them were not. Actually. They're not.
Okay, so we had one question. The question is, you don't have an extractor. How do you extract? You got no access to an extractor. How do you extract?
So the other way to extract honey is you can do the crush method. So you take this, a bag like this, and you scrape your frame, scrape all the wax and everything off of them until you're bare plastic. Put it in here and hang it up overnight under with a bucket underneath it. The next morning you'll have, if you like wax, you'll end up with more wax that way, but then you will have no drawn comb left to do anything else with.
I think there's another way too. I think you can just scrape it like you do and then put it in a frame lean so it can drain out.
It takes forever.
Just takes forever.
Yeah, I'm gonna take.
Because everybody wants to put it in the house because it's cool in the house, but
Yeah,
the
then you just slow
honey's
it down
too
even
warm.
more.
So, yeah. So, yeah, so it's not easy to do.
Too slow.
If you don't have an extractor, join the club. You just borrow our extractor.
Yeah, we have three complete setups with the tanks and everything.
Because we have the big extractors and we have the little extractors too. Right? We have these big 6 frames and we have a couple of radial 4-frame extractors.
The little plastic ones.
Let me look harder. I'm just grabbing.
I think we have a 4-frame extractor too.
Okay.
Like radial. No, I mean a tangent. That's radial. Misled.
I know we go here, we do have a full frame.
Yeah.
It's almost the same size as that though.
I know. But it's just.
I was gonna grab it.
But it'll do 9-inch frames.
Yeah, it'll do deeps. Yeah, plenty of deeps. I'm sorry for your back too.
Okay, so let me do real quick. I just want to remind you guys all the stuff coming up, right? The mentor program is still going on. So get with Wendy.
Wendy will get with you. We've got the Architecture Center going on right now, the Architecture of Bees. And then we have Thursday, the 23rd, the Buzz About Bees Lunch and Learn. Friday, 24th, Pollinator Walks in Buffalo Bayou. Saturday, June 25th, the big one, which is Texas Beekeeper Association Summer Clinic. I think that's in Conroe. Tuesday, the 28th, is Harris County Beekeeper Association. Saturday, July 16th, another pollinator walk with the Buffalo Bayou. And Tuesday, July 19th, it's going to be our beekeeper meeting, happy hour. I think we're going to get some homebrew from Mike. And I don't know what
That's
else.
why you had that bucket.
That's why it has the bucket, yeah.
Yeah, more beer this time.
Homebrew from Mike, and we'll be able to see Wendy's exhibit as well. Okay, when you do the drawing for the stuff, door prizes. So I tell you what, I'll just draw the numbers.
Okay.
You're all sticky. The door prizes, we got a hat. We've got a hive tool. You can't have my phone. We have the First Lessons Beekeeping book by Keith Delaplane. Now, I believe that the guy who wrote this book is going to be the featured speaker at this coming Saturday at the Texas Beekeeper thing in Conroe. So this is a really good little tiny book. You can pretty much do everything, learn everything you know about beekeeping to get started out of this one little book. All right, so numbers. I picked number 386868.
868.
868. That you? All right. That's it. Hat. Hive tool for Heidi.
That's what I'm going to take.
Do it.
Thank you.
All right. Wait, there's two of them stuck together. That doesn't seem right. All right. 867. All that mixing up. That's you again? All right. Can't give you all the prizes. 881. Is that you? All right. Hat or a book? All right. All right. Next one is 873.
Steve, but you know what? I won last time. Let somebody else do it.
All right. 877. Steve.
Well, book.
Be a good Christmas present for somebody. All right. Okay. That concludes our meeting. I apologize to you guys on Zoom that we don't really have our great technology, but hopefully you can see this well enough to know what's going on. Thank you all for coming. See you in a month.
Oh, one last thing. So if you do get the club equipment and you have an issue with it, like it breaks or whatever, just let us know so we can get it fixed, or get it replaced or whatever.
Where did your little blue plastic thing go? Come from?
I think I got it on Amazon.
That is a pretty cool thing. All right.
It's made by Be Smart.
Hey, we need to put the chairs
Got it
up.
like 4 or 5 years
And,
ago. I don't know if they still make it.
Put the chairs up, and then also maybe we could some of us help Mike taking this junk out to his truck too. I'm just gonna close this. I think that'll just shut it down, right? All right.